Dear students, the next part of this lecture we are just going to discuss about change of land use. Over the years, from since time immemorial, the land has been used for many purposes. So initially, man used the land for agricultural purpose, and then it slowly shifted to having industries, building quarries, uh, the reserves for the want of minerals. They started to dig deep under the sand, and they started to build industries to extract ores from the sand. And there is a set of lands that are used for building purposes. So we could not avoid it, and this has been happening for centuries altogether. And in each and every century, as we can see, the green cover is has reduced a lot. So people have used before the wild lands where there used to be a lot of forests have reduced greatly. We have cut down on the trees and we have made it as human settlements, and we have built industries on that. So the cultivable lands have also increased a lot, and for that we had to destroy the forests for the want of human beings. There are urban settlements where there are encroachments on the riverbeds, and mixed settlements are also there. So this has an impact on the overall climatic conditions, or it has a worst effect on the environment. The land use have to be properly maintained. If we don't use it, and if it's going to contribute to the overall pollution, then human beings have to suffer a lot. So one such cases is something that we're going to see today. It's a case of mangrove protection. Mumbai was blessed with mangrove forests, but it was depleted because of the urban settlement, and the population surge has shrunken the area of mangrove forest in Mumbai. So mangroves, we already know, they act as a buffer. They stabilize the coastal lines. They protect the inland areas from the worst floods, and from the sea water getting inside the settlements. So mangrove cover of 66 square kilometers cushions the coastal of Mumbai as a natural barrier against sea level rise and coastal flooding, apart from providing numerous other ecosystem services. So but because of the urbanization and population surge, there was a continuous threat for this mangrove forest. So there is a good story. There is a hero. She has willingly taken steps to revive it back, to bring back those mangroves in Mumbai. Her name is Seema R.M.K. So she was a range officer posted in Mumbai, and she is now doing the mangrove conservation work. So you're watching Seema R.M.K., a range forest officer in Mumbai, mangrove conservation unit. So she's starting to plant a lot of samplings that would increase the area of mangroves again in Mumbai. So as you can see here, mangrove roots, they help in holding the soil firmly, and they don't give rise to corrosion or erosion of soil can be prevented because of the roots. They act as a natural barriers when there is a flooding or sea level rise, and there are a lot of fishes that are living in this area. So a report says that the mangrove forest has come down a lot, and this lady is doing her best to revive it, to make it grow. So uh, it is it is a lady who is standing in front amidst of the mangrove roots, and look at that, it's such a cool area. So imagine if the mangroves are totally lost, so we would be losing this natural habitat. So it's an early morning scene along the mangroves in Mumbai. So we can do our bit in conserving the mangrove forest, and also the we can do our part when we take a small portion of our area where we are living. We have to conserve the forests, natural resources which are around us, so that so many birds, flora and fauna are all saved, the ecosystem is saved. So it's our bounden duty to act as warriors in this regard. There is something called as a very important, the next topic is climate change adaptation. So the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, defines adaptation, the process of adjustment to actual expected climate and its effects. In human system, adaptation seeks to moderate or avoid harm or exploit beneficial opportunities. In some natural systems, human intervention may facilitate adjustment to expected climate and its effects. These adjustments includes many areas such as infrastructure, agricultural and educational activities. So we always have to have a proactive approach towards the climate change. So before could the reactive approach is after the disaster strikes, when we are not able to protect our environment, we'll have to take steps. That is reactive approach. Proactive approach is before the disaster strikes, we have to anticipate and make changes. So adaptation after there is any climate change, adapting to it by crop diversification, changes in irrigation activities. So having insurance companies insuring, all these are all reactive methods of adaptation. Proactive methods of adaptation includes properly anticipating the disaster that is impending, and what would be the extent of the effect, what would be the extent of the impacts of the disasters, in what timing the disasters would be there, distribution of impacts, flood protection infrastructure, all this have to be built even before the disaster strikes. This would be appreciated a lot. So you're watching a cycle of adaptation process. So first we have to assess the impacts, vulnerability and risks that are there, and we have to plan for adaptation, how to adapt for it. We have to implement the adaptation methods, and then after implementing we have to monitor and evaluate the adaptation procedures which are whether they are properly functioning. So at each and every stage, at the assessment and vulnerability stage, we have to raise awareness and we have to set goals and how to properly prevent from the disastrous or changing climatic conditions. So we have to provide, when we are planning space, we have to provide political space for engagemental activities. Then we will be sharing information and knowledge, guidance, all this have to be given by the government to the general public about the adaptation measures that have to be taken for the climatic change. Okay, then strengthening technical and institutional capacities also have to be put in place. So financial support and technological support should also be given in the monitoring or evaluation phase of adaptation. So whatever we do, we have to engage the stakeholders in each and every step, and so that they are aware and they are properly benefited. So IPCC is an intergovernmental body of the United Nations. it providing the world with objective scientific information relevant to the understanding the scientific basis of the risk of human-induced climate change, its natural, political, economic impacts and risks, and possible response options. The IPCC was established in 1988 by the World Meteorological Organization and the United Nations Environment Programme, and was later endorsed by the United Nations General Assembly. Thousands of scientists and other experts contribute on a voluntary basis to assess the published literature, including peer-reviewed and non-peer-reviewed sources. So, the risk of human-induced climate change and its potential impacts and what are the options for preventions are clearly given here in the IPCC scenario. Already we are experiencing 1 degree change in the climatic condition. What if there is 1.5 degree changes Celsius changes in the climatic conditions, in the overall temperature rise for 1.5 degrees? If it's going to be 2 degree rise, what would be the, it is said that if it's going to be a 2 degrees Celsius rise, there's going to be a catastrophic effect, that's going to have a catastrophic effect on human population. So the scientists have emphasized on reducing the emissions. So agricultural, forests and trades will be badly affected because of this climatic change. We'll be seeing that how health industry will have to scale up to the demands of the disaster that is there. How do we adapt to this changing climate condition is a question, and if there are a lot of pollutions in the environment, and that will also add up to the so many diseases that can affect human beings. Thank you.